a southeast London man has been found guilty of manslaughter following a horrific incident in which he fatally struck a homeowner with the victim's own vehicle during a botched burglary. Errol Woodger, 38, of Abbey Wood, was convicted at the Old Bailey after a 3-week trial that laid bare the shocking details of the December 2019 attack that claimed the life of 51-year-old Mark Allen. The tragedy unfolded in the early hours of December 29th, when Woodger broke into a flat adjacent to Mr. Allen's residence in Erith. CCTV footage presented in court showed the gloved intruder scaling a brick wall before entering the property. Within minutes, the burglar had stolen the keys to Mr. Allen's Mercedes, a vehicle specially adapted for the victim, who relied on a prosthetic lower right leg and had acquired the car through the Motability scheme. Prosecutor Anthony Orchard, KC, described how Mr. Allen bravely confronted the thief upon discovering his car being stolen. Neighbours reported hearing the victim's desperate shouts of, "That's my car, you aren't taking my car," before witnessing the chilling sequence of events that followed. Security camera evidence showed Mr. Allen standing defiantly in front of his vehicle with hands raised as Woodger reversed at speed from the parking space. In a final, brutal act, the Mercedes was driven directly at Mr. Allen, launching him onto the bonnet and over the roof before Woodger fled the scene. The victim suffered catastrophic head injuries and was discovered lying unconscious on Pearswood Road by neighbours. Despite emergency medical intervention, Mr. Allen never regained consciousness and died in hospital a month later on January 29, 2020. The stolen Mercedes was recovered 2 days after the incident in the Isle of Dogs area, with mobile phone data placing Woodger's device in the vicinity of both the abandoned vehicle and his Belvedere home address during the critical period. In a desperate courtroom defence, Woodger, who claimed to be a former soldier who served in Afghanistan, attempted to shift blame to 2 unnamed accomplices. He testified that the burglary had been orchestrated by another individual seeking funds for drugs and maintained he had kept his head down in the passenger seat during the fatal collision. The jury, however, saw through these claims, particularly when confronted with Woodger's extensive criminal history, encompassing 15 prior offences, including robbery and attempted robbery. The prosecution successfully argued that Woodger had deliberately used the stolen Mercedes as a weapon to facilitate his escape, showing complete disregard for human life. Mr. Orchard emphasised to the court that the theft of the keys had clearly been forcible, stating you can be sure he didn't hand them over voluntarily. With Woodger's conviction secured, the case now awaits sentencing where the court will determine the appropriate punishment for this callous crime that robbed a vulnerable man of his life and left a community in shock. The proceedings have highlighted the potentially deadly consequences of burglary offences, particularly when perpetrators resort to extreme violence to avoid capture.